We've been hearing in the past few minutes from President Putin. He's been giving a press conference in Moscow. He's talked about this on the accusations that it was a Russian drone that crashed into the Romanian apartment blocks on the border with Ukraine and Moldova. This is according to intelligence agencies. President Putin has said to that, quote, no one can say the origin of this drone that's crashed into NATO territory in Romania. These are live images as he's speaking to the press right now. As he does so, as we gather what he says as he does it, let's bring in Radu Tudor, the prominent Romanian journalist, TV anchor and military analyst who's covered NATO summits since 1994. Great to have you on the programme. Welcome to France 24, Radu. Your take here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Good to have you with us. An accident during relentless strikes, President Putin saying no one can say the origin right now, or is this a provocation, probing NATO's defences? What's your take?
Well, we will prove it that it is a Russian drone because all the NATO capabilities we have on Romanian soil saw it, the 43 drones coming from Russia through Ukraine, and one of them was diverted probably by the Ukrainian defense. So we have all the indication that it is a Russian drone. It is a Geran 2 type drone, and probably the Romanian authorities will show pictures soon. And we have many other incidents with Russian drones, and we have the parts to the MOD proving that those are Russian drones. I don't think President Putin will start to say the truth after 27 years in power.
What do you mean, Radu, when you talk about one of the drones being deflected? Are we talking about a similar occasion as we saw in the last few weeks in the Baltics, where we've seen Ukrainian drones hitting Latvia, hitting Estonia as well?
It was a different case right now because Romania has 70 incidents in the last 3 years with the Russian drones, and 20 of them hit Romanian soil. Right now, it's the greatest incident when two people were hurt, but we can have any other details and proofs for all our NATO allies. What has happened in Estonia was a Ukrainian drone, and a Romanian F-16 doing air police mission there could get down this drone. Right now, with the Russian drones, it's much more difficult, and we know that we had in the past same incident, and we know we will have more incidents like this in the future. So we need many other NATO allies to contribute to air defense systems and protection in the eastern flank.
One thing that strikes me is Article 4 under NATO is the right to meet, to convene when a country feels its territory is under threat. Romania has done this before, I think 2022, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but has this happened? Are the government likely to do it this time?
No, the spirit of the Article 5 means consultations. There have been a lot of consultations between Romanian authorities and NATO Secretary General, EU President Ursula von der Leyen, and all NATO allies. So, in fact, Article 4, without being mentioned, did function, and probably in consultations with NATO headquarters, it has been decided not to be activated. But after you see so many messages of solidarity for Romania, those are messages coming after there have been a lot of consultations with other allied capitals.
That's very interesting. Radu, talk us through the dynamic that you're seeing from the kind of calibrated messages from within the Romanian government and what it's asking for, what it wants to see, how it's judging or publicly putting out the message.
Well, the Romanian president is there in Galați right now. He went to see the lady that was wounded and her child, and probably the Romanian population will see, or in the future, many those kind of aggressions or Russian aggressions like this. We are here in the eastern flank facing the Russian threat every week. And our message, our signal from the Romanian government, from the Romanian population, please transfer all the NATO capabilities from the western flank to the eastern flank, because we are here facing the Russian threat, facing the Russian aggression, and Romania has the longest border with Ukraine, which is a country invaded by Russia. So we need capabilities. We need Operation Eastern Sentry to be accelerated by NATO in order to prevent those kinds of incidents that probably will come also later.
By military capabilities, Radu, what do you mean? Are we talking about battalions heading there? Are we talking about battalions with Patriot missiles, a message to the US? What is it you'd like to see exactly transferred?
We need especially air defense capabilities, anti-drones capabilities, and of course, military that can operate those kind of systems. We know that there is a evolution in producing modern capabilities. We know the Ukrainians are helping us to get the best equipments on anti-drone capabilities because they have, let's say, systems combat proven. So we need the Ukrainian expertise, and we need as soon as possible to increase the air defense capabilities on all eastern flank, from Baltics to Poland to Romania and Bulgaria, and to be capable in the future to deter this kind of threats that are coming very often against us.
Does the Romanian government, in your assessment, feel that the US is absolutely standing by right now? I know President Trump says he's meeting in the Situation Room. We haven't seen overt condemnation of, from what I've seen, President Putin so far. What's your take on that, on the relationship and the interdependence, given the rocky weeks and months we've had in that dynamic?
Well, it was a good sign that U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker, sent a message of solidarity with Romania and said in that message that NATO will defend every inch of the alliance. This is good. That means that the U.S. administration understands the threat we are facing. Of course, we were expecting that future messages to mention who is the aggressor, because there is only one, and Russia must be, let's say, defeated with defense means of all NATO countries. We need United States capabilities. Last year, we had 3,000 US troops in Romania. Now we have only 500. So we need more US and NATO allies presence in Romania, not less.
Now, you will have seen, I mentioned you've covered NATO summits since the mid-90s. You will have seen NATO Secretary Generals come and go. When it comes to it, Radu, the face of NATO as Secretary General, in terms of that, the optics, the media war, getting across the idea that there would be, this one for all and all for one. What are you making of Mark Rutte as NATO Secretary General?
I have interviewed Mark Rutte twice, and I think he's a great Secretary General. He's doing his best to keep the solidarity of the alliance. Maybe some guys are telling that he's making too many concessions to this US administration. But at the end of the day, he must keep the unity of the alliance. He must keep the solidarity. And every time we had difficult moments like this, we got a strong message from Mark Rutte. And from my point of view, he's doing whatever we need here on Eastern Flank and whatever the alliance needs to be together. 32 countries, 1 billion people, and 3 million military in the armies of NATO.
In the brief time we have, Radu, I want to ask you a final thought. About a minute to go. Could the Romanian government have shot this drone down? Other questions about that?
Yes, it could have been shot. The military pilot had all the authorizations from the MOD to shoot down that drone. The problem is that we don't need collateral damages, and it is a danger if a missile from the F-16 is launched against the drone to cross the drone to pass that small piece of aeroplane and then get down and shoot some civilians on the ground. we need to, let's say, not having this kind of behavior. We must be very cautious when we launch a missile during an interception of a drone for keeping the lives safe down there on the ground.
Radu, good to talk to you tonight. I know you've got to go off next because you've got to anchor your own TV programme in Romania, but thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Radu Tudor, prominent Romanian journalist, TV anchor, military analyst, as I said, covered NATO summits since the mid-90s. Stay with us here on Worldview. Coming up in 40 minutes' time, The World This Week, 4 distinguished correspondents looking back at the last 7 days and beyond, distilled into 45 minutes. We'll be back in just a moment.